Because we've arranged for members of the SDP to come and donate blood this morning. The reason for us doing this is because we want to continue to put this message out, asking Singaporeans to, in the midst of the coronavirus outbreak, to, as where possible, make lives go on as normally as we possibly can. And so one of the things that we can do is to continue to get Singaporeans to do the essential. Donating blood is considered, we consider one of them, because look, no matter what goes on, people still continue to need blood when they get injured or when they succumb to a disease. And this is where I think Singaporeans can contribute. And we've been saying this all along. Let's leave aside politics for the time being. Let's come together and make sure we do what we can to arrest the situation and get Singaporeans psychologically, physically, emotionally all together first. Right? And this is the one of the things that we can do to demonstrate to Singaporeans not to be paranoid. Not to be paranoid in terms of what we need to do. And donating blood is one of them. All right, come down here, take the necessary precautions. Don't panic, but let's be cautious about it, and let's do what we can to make sure that society continues to function in as normal a way as possible. Now, having said that, you can imagine our outrage, our shock, when all of a sudden the EBRC then announces the boundaries yesterday. Now, don't forget, it had 7 to 8 months to do this, but it waits till the point where this outbreak of the virus is really at its worst. Pandemic has just been declared, and not only that, we have in the last week an upsurge of new cases developing in Singapore. And all this time, what we're saying is that we've been trying to not conduct partisan politics. And now the government has forced it upon the nation to do this. It is the worst of possible times for us to call for elections at this stage. I don't want to engage in hyperbole, but the PAP cannot be more irresponsible to do something like this when we should be focusing our state resources, the minds of Singaporeans, on at least conquering this outbreak of the virus, and to arrest it as soon as we can, and then get back to normal life. But no, it has decided that it's going to conduct the elections very soon. We don't know when it is, but it's imminent. Otherwise, they won't be announcing the boundaries. What we want to do is tell this government, you've still got time. Don't hold these elections until you see clear signs that the situation has abated and there are very obvious signs that the whole situation has just subsided. Governments are grappling all over the world. Vaccines are being tested right now. Governments are taking drastic action, and the warmer months are coming up, and some of the experts are speculating that might help to control and contain the situation. So we might see an improvement. We don't know. We might see an improvement in the coming months. Wait until then. After all, we won't have to have the elections until April of next year. So there is still time. If you're talking about the end of Parliament life is next month, then yes, you have a reason. But you've still got more than a year. Okay. Why do it now? Unless you want to do this for your own political advantage, your own political interests. That is wrong. That is wrong. When you want to capitalize on this, whether it's the fear of the people or the people are distracted, that is wrong. Absolutely incorrect, because we've got huge national issues that we must properly debate going into an election. And that's not being done. Right? Now, that's one point. Now, I mentioned about us trying to make sure that we, our message, and you've seen our message, that we've been trying to get Singaporeans together Okay? And let's just deal with this matter. So we've actually held off our own elections, our own activities. We were supposed to organize our 40th anniversary. It's a big thing for us. And we wanted to do it towards the end of February, March. But when this matter hit, we thought the better of it, and we said, no, let's not continue with this. And then what did we find? That PAP's Women's Wing organized this massive activity when I saw one photo of it where it must have been at least a couple of hundred people gathered around, all in close proximity. And then the Safra Jurong matter came up where they organized this dinner for the People's Association. I'm not sure what grassroots organizations it was. And from there, you get this outbreak and this newfound cluster. Did the PAP take its eye off the ball? Has it dropped the ball? And now we're talking about, in the last, was it just yesterday, that there were 8 imported cases. And now they're thinking of letting more of the ferries come in, more of these cruise ships docked in Singapore. And whilst we are doing all this, right, focusing, all the state resources should be focused on this, and then they decide to have all these activities in preparation, I can only presume, for the coming elections. And that is why we're saying, don't do that. Not at this time. It's not the right time to do it. And we're still going to continue our call to the PAP to stop and categorically tell us that there will be no elections. Rest assured, we will not call for elections until there are clear signs that this outbreak has been contained and arrested and things beginning to abate. Not when DOSCON is still at orange state. Okay. I this morning before I left, I thought I come across a few pictures where I saw Mr. Murali, the MP for Bukit Batok. He had this gathering. I think this is again just last week for senior citizens. I think it was called Active Aging. And I saw in the picture there was a dinner or a lunch anyway, in a big group of elderly people. And all sitting bunched up together in close proximity. I'm going to write to him and ask him if he can confirm that event because the pictures are there. The date, I think, was set on 7th of March. And I just want to ask him whether something like this was a social, political, responsible thing to do. All right? You are an MP, and therefore the leader of the community. Should something like this have been done? And you have people gathered there who are elderly, the elderly, people who the age group that's most susceptible to the spread of this virus. You get one situation happening, and one of them could be a super spreader. There you have the things flare up again. And that is why this is one thing that I wanted to. Well, the PAP talks a good talk about being socially responsible, calling those people they're socially irresponsible. Then you have the PAP organizing all these activities for folks where they have to come together, and that's just not right. So we want to emphasize again that the ultimate activity they can do is to organize an elections, and that is hugely unacceptable. And I will tell you that people will not welcome this decision. Are there any questions?
Sir, can I just check? I mean, in light of what you said, since there is the EBRT did come up with the plan yesterday, as you said, it shows that it's imminent. How does it change or bring forth your strategy for the upcoming election event?
We're going to stick to this right now. Okay, the elections have not been called yet. There is still time. All right, for the Prime Minister to come out and make a declaration to the nation, tell them at this stage, right? They wax lyrical about things being so precarious right now. The situation could turn either way. Come out and categorically tell the nation that we are a responsible government. We will not hold elections at this time. Not when we're still at a stage where we still have DOSCON and orange. Let it come down, and then we will reassess the situation. I'd like to see the Prime Minister do that.
Dr. Chee, can you just clarify when you say stick to it? What do you Meaning you guys won't engage in any walkabout activities?
Oh no, what we're going to try to do is do what we can. Stick to this whole message of telling the PAP not to call for elections.
Okay, but notwithstanding your call, we know most likely the government will just do whatever they want and probably have elections soon. So, what are you guys doing in preparation for that?
No. Why? Why do we always take this resigned that it will happen? It's not that you don't have a say in this. The media, right? You've got columnists that you can write and put pressure on the government. The people will continue to pass this message. So this is not a done deal. If the nation puts enough, if the people puts enough pressure on this government, the government will rethink. So I don't accept this premise that it's going to happen and therefore we should just not talk about it and then just go on as if we don't have a choice.
So hypothetically, let's say it's called, right? So, there have been, yesterday also, there was the announcement in the morning by multi-agency task force to limit like big events, then the benchmark was set at 250, right? So hypothetically, let's say it happens and elections kick into high gear, campaigning and the hustings. So with these sort of guidelines, they don't really call it restrictions, but with these guidelines, how would it impact, for example, rallies that you guys would normally hold without the COVID outbreak? Yeah.
I come back to what I said. We do not accept that this is inevitable, that we have to go into an elections, bring people together, and look at people come into contact or close proximity. You're voting, you're polling. We're not just talking about rallies. And then when you do the count, what do you want the elections, the election department people, right, to do? They still got to manually handle these ballots. What's going to happen, right? And how do we then get into a situation whereby we want to observe the counting, but we have to maintain this social distance? How is that all going to play out? So we don't accept, right, that this has to go on, and we want to maintain this line and tell the government that this is a very serious situation. If this continues to worsen, the PAP will be held responsible for this continued outbreak. Don't take your eye off the ball right now. Now is not the time. Focus. We were just getting better. I just looked at the stats. A couple of weeks ago, we were down to 1, 2, 3, 0 cases I saw on one day. And all of a sudden, because of this Jurong cluster, right, then we had things bouncing up right back up again. And then yesterday's announcement, 13 cases, new cases. So, as I said, all right, now is not the time to take your eye off the ball.
Dr. Chee, in the event, if it does happen, how does these events, how will it be affected?
You're going to ask me this 100 times. I'm not going to answer you this 100 times. In the event that this doesn't have to happen, we're going to continue to call on the government. You can do your part too, because I can tell you, coronavirus is not going to affect just the opposition. All of you, your parents your children are going to be involved. Tell the government, don't do it. Don't pull the trigger because you're squeezing it right now. You haven't come to the point where you're beyond the threshold yet. Don't do it. That's the message.
You were also saying something just now about the government is sort of like, what's the word you use? Taking this opportunity to turn the tide in their favor, in a sense. So, some political analysts have also said that holding an election soon would be disadvantageous for the opposition. So, can I just get your thoughts on that?
I'll be very honest. We don't calculate it that way.
Okay.
All right, whether it's advantages to us, whether it's advantages to the PAP. Here you have clearly a threat that's going worldwide, pandemic. It is completely outrageous to even think of in elections right now. I just heard that been going on huge, massive sporting events have just been closed down. Correct? Football matches in Europe are played behind closed doors, not a single spectator. Right? But we have a choice because those events are all pre-planned or scheduled already, but yet they're closing down. Now we don't have this scheduled ahead of time. There are still options, correct? And here we are calling for mass event, something like that to take place. How sane is this? And this is why I keep wanting to come back to this point, telling the government Don't do that. Not a good idea.
During yesterday's task force briefing, right, Lawrence Wong sort of alluded to the use of technology, like in place of outdoor gatherings, outdoor rallies. So, there are some sort of speculation that we could see like very different sort of G this year with political parties using a lot more technology. So, that may sort of kind of circumvent. Would it be possible? And for your party?
My response to Mr. Wong is this, all right? Think about all these things, right? Okay? Focus on making sure that we address this problem. Don't think about the parties can do this, digital, that. You don't have to do it now. This is my point. It's not that, for example, in the fixed term, US presidential elections, the date is fixed. Right? Even then, they're thinking of moving, right? We don't have a fixed date. And then the thing is, as I said, it's not that the life of Parliament, the term of Parliament is up next month. We've got until April 21. Right? Hang in there. Ask Mr. Wong, focus on getting this right first. We were, until all these things started coming about, and we had another upsurge again of new cases. No. Now is not the time to take your time off the ball. Okay? Thank you so much. We'll be proceeding on to our blood donation.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.